नमस्ते गुरुजी। जय गुरुजी महाराज। जय गुरुजी सासंग जी। शुक्राना गुरुजी महाराज अम्बटी लिंगर से सेवादार टीम आप सबका स्वागत करती है। आज एक बार फिर गुरुजी की असीम कृपा से बैम्बी आंटी जी की बुक गुरुजी महाराज की रीडिंग सेशन आप लोग सुनेंगे। सेशन को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए मैं तनुज कपूर आंटी जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, प्लीज सेशन को इनिशिएट करें। जय गुरु जी, ओवर टू यू तनुज आंटी।
थैंक यू वेरी मच अंकल जी। सबसे पहले महाराज को नमस्ते और महाराज के चरणों में सादर प्रणाम और महाराज की आई हुई बहुत बहुत प्यारी संगत सभी सुनने वालों को प्यार भरी नमस्ते। As Uncle Ji has mentioned, we are continuing with the reading sessions of Bamby Auntie Ji's extremely, I would say, spiritually uplifting book. And I have been personally, I'm sure I may have seen Bamby Auntie in Empire Estate, but I personally did not know anybody when we would be there. Eyes were only for Guruji Maharaj, but yes, there were a lot of familiar faces, but I did not have any interaction with Bamby Auntie. But I have heard a lot about her and about Guruji's blessings on Bamby Auntie and the entire family. I've been very, very fortunate that, the last 4 sessions I have been following, and I'd say I'm hooked on. One has, I think it's a journey. That's my personal view, and that Guruji prepares us for whatever he gives us, and that comes gradually. मैं अपने बारे में कह रही हूँ, गुरुजी महाराज के साथ बहुत बहुत it's extremely very I won't say benevolent and kind of him to call us to his darbar, take us in his sharan and shower us with immense blessings. But this process of understanding Guruji, I think firstly there is no end to it. No. And it's gradual, I would say. And that happens when your soul, the cleansing takes place gradually. So I feel just being in Maharaj's Darbar, enjoying his blessings, enjoying his presence, and gradually after Mahasamadhi, when I was exposed to Sangat sharing, listening to so many beautiful Sangats of his Sangat which is spread all over the world. And you look within and you say, how gracious Maharaj is. So that was one. Then, he introduces you to Seva, and then certain books which he only guides who will write. And through each book, what is it that good is going to come through for his Sangat. So I feel that, for me, it has been a step by step, and each of the books that have been written by his Sangat are so mesmerizing and so full of his love that you begin to somewhat understand what Guruji did, why he did. And I think with Bamby Auntie's book, I'm just, I would say I am probably nearing, the first step to understand what Maharaj wants from us, what Maharaj is trying to tell us. So, a lot of things like, I'd say, Mango Nahi Manu, prayers to Guruji, Dhyan of Guruji, through this book. And Guruji, Bamby Auntie, I'd say you are extremely blessed that Maharaj has chosen you to convey these absolutely deep deep messages to us. And now one begins to understand why Maharaj said, Mango nahi manno. What is a meaningful prayer? What is a meaningful dhyan? And what is the significance of the real gifts from Guruji Maharaj? These are just a couple of things that I have mentioned, but I'm sure the Sangat who have been watching these sessions and attending these sessions from the very beginning, and those of us who have, like me, I have been watching the last 4 sessions, but I have read the book, and I would only say thank you so much, Guruji. अनंतम शुक्राना आपका कि आपने इतने सुंदर messages दिए. That is also, I think, your process of cleansing us and making us ready before we come to you. And Bamby Auntie, extremely thankful to you and the family. And I think these interactive sessions are so insightful. Just reading the book, I think, and all this is my personal view, please. Just reading the book will not have the impact that these sessions, they just stay with you. They stay with you for a couple of days, and you resolve to be or walk the path that Maharaj is guiding us. So thank you so very much, Bamby Auntie. And continuing from last time, today we will, of course, page 23 has a beautiful Swaroop of Maharaj. Lovingly, he's looking at all of us. And we come to page 24, which talks about food. And today's reader is another special person. As her name suggests, Noor. I can see, I get a glimpse of her. She really is a beautiful young lady. And I also learned that she's a blessing from Maharaj. So naturally, a blessing from Maharaj will exude Noor. And I think this Noor also flows through. I've also learned that she's a very creative person, which of course is blessing from Maharaj. But I also feel, beta Noor, this is something जो आपको विरसे में मिला है. Because I think your mother is, she's in that field and very good at it. And so, of course, Noor, you not only inherited this from mom, but Guruji's blessings flow through you in the form of creativity. And I've learned that you are very good at art, fashion designing, and in sync with today's generation, computer graphics is also one of your specializations. Do correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're perfectly right.
Okay, that's a little bit. I'm looking forward to Beti Noor reading the chapter on food. So I think I'll hand over to you, darling. Please take over.
I think Sati can say a few words before.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can, and I'm sure everybody else can too.
So I think Bamby has mentioned in one of the earlier sessions that Guruji was telling us for a long time, about 5-6 years, to have another child. We already had 2 daughters who were grown up, teenagers. So we used to wonder why we didn't want another child. I mean, there was such a age gap. And in 2002, September, before my father passed away, on 30th of September. Guruji Maharaj, one day, he used to keep telling Bamby mostly that you have another child. One day he scolded me. I was sitting in front and he kind of scolded me. I've been telling you to have a child. बार-बार तो तुहानू कह रहा हूं, तो तुसी मंदे क्यों नहीं हो? You know, गुस्से से थोड़ा बोला. तो Bamby से फिर मैंने बात की कि I mean there must be some reason, you know, why he's saying it again and again. So we must listen to him. We used to always listen to him, but this was something we were not kind of keen on. Yeah. And anyway, Noor was born in August the next year, in 2003, and it was a difficult um, delivery for Bamby. We went through a lot. That's another satsang for another day. But then the next day, the next day, my mom went to Guruji and told him that they've had a baby girl. And Guruji already knew, we had already discussed, and he already knew that we're going to be having a girl. And she said, Mummy asked Guruji, "Ida na ki rakhiye?" तो गुरुजी ने कहा था, ना नूर रख दो या नानकी रख दो. तो mommy said okay. So mom came home and told us that she'd had this conversation with Guruji, and he said, नूर रख दो या नानकी रख दो. तो हमने पूछा उन्होंने पहले क्या कहा. She said नूर. So, and I'm sure most of you know, but for those who don't, Guru Nanak Dev Ji's, Shri Guru Nanak Dev Ji's sister's name was Nanki. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji used to call her with love Noor. प्यार से वो नूर बुलाते थे. So Nanki and Noor, both of the names Guruji said. So when mom told us, we said, if he said Noor first, we're keeping Noor. And we preferred Noor also. It's a more modern name than Nanki.
Yeah.
So next day, mom happened to go to Guruji again after a couple of days, or next day, I don't remember exactly. And immediately Guruji said, Noor rakh detta hai na?
Oh,
And she said, Noor rakh detta hai. So that is how her name was kept. And in 2005, it was winter. I don't know. It was either late January or early February. Both Bamby and I were out. We had gone out to golf club with some friends, Delhi Golf Club. And while we were returning, we got a call from one of the Sangat that, Sati, where are you? And I said, I've just left golf club, we're heading home. He said, Jaldi ghar jao, Guruji is coming. And he's coming with 50 Sangat. So, and our drawing room was getting painted. And we said, अब क्या करें एकदम से, मतलब फटाफट क्या करना पड़ेगा. So our drawing room was in 3 sections. So fortunately, the center section and the right side section had already been painted. So we went home, called the office staff, whoever we could gather, quickly cleaned up the place, put the furniture back, put curtains on the side that was still getting painted, threw the painters out, ordered Prasad. I don't remember what mithai we called for, but we called for mithai and samosas and things like that. And in an hour, Guruji was there with 50 people. And he said, Nunu leke aao. And Guruji blessed her. So that was the amazing journey with how Noor came into our lives. And it was amazing to have Guruji with 50 people at home also. I mean, it was a huge blessing. Yeah. So Noor, now you can start, sweetheart.
Noor is blessed, Diva.
I think you've been introduced nicely enough, so you don't need to introduce yourself.
So I'm reading the chapter Food. I'll start. When asked about his diet when he used to meditate, Guruji said food should be light, simple, and not too much in quantity.
So here I've said food, but it would be food for everybody at that time, but it's only langar now. Every form becomes langar. क्योंकि तद ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ बताऊं ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਦ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਪੂਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਪਲਟਨ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਉਹ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਫਲਾਣਾ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਲਾਣਾ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਐਂਡ ਬਸ ਚੱਲ ਪਿਓ ਤੇ ਚੱਲ ਪਿਓ ਮੀਨਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾਈਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਕਨਵਾਏ ਵਾਂਗਰ ਐਂਡ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ 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 ਤੇ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਲੰਚ ਹੋ ਕੋਈ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੋ ਰੁਕਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ तो एक दिन पता नहीं किथे असी अटक गए सी ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਬੜੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੈ। ਤੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੱਬਰ ਅੰਕਲ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ, ਅੰਕਲ ਬੜੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੈ, ਕੁਝ ਕਰੋ। ਤੇ ਬੱਬਰ ਅੰਕਲ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਲਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਦੇਖੋ ਇੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਇੰਨੇ ਸੋਹਣੇ ਸੰਤਰੇ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਤਰੇ ਦੇ ਦੇਣੇ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਖ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਤੇ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਗਾੜੀਆਂ ਫਿਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਚਲੀ, ਹਰ ਗੱਡੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸੰਤਰਾ ਉਹ ਰੇੜੀ ਖਤਮ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ, ਮਤਲਬ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਤਰਾ ਵੰਡਿਆ। So then that is food, but that's prasad. But that is how this whole topic comes around of food. And for Guruji, yes, food was it was very important part of his blessing, because it was literally, it's like the very essence of his prayer, of his blessing that goes into the langar that we used to get and still goes into langar now. And the langar also, you have to remember कि जिन्नी reverence नाल तुसी लंगर खाओगे, लंगर उसी तरह तुहाडे नाल act करता है। तुसी गप्पा मारोगे और तुहाडा पेट खराब करेगी, तुसी प्यार नाल खाओगे ते वो ठीक रहेगी, और बहुत प्यार नाल खाओगे तो वो पूरी दवाई बनती है। गुरु जी said कि इथे दवाई ते बाहर मिठाई, वो वाकई सच है। और गुरु साहिब जी एक्चुअली सानू कहंदे सी इस तरह लंगर नहीं खाना, धरती मां नू पहले थैंक यू कहना है कि मैं कहंदा हां ते तुसी क्यों नहीं कहंदे हो। सो फर्स्ट इट्स ऑलवेज धरती मां and then Guru Sahib Ji for all the langar that we eat. In fact, Guruji's langar was very simple. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਹੋਰ ਥੋੜਾ ਖਾ ਲਓ, ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਹੋਰ ਥੋੜਾ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖਾਣ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦ ਫਰਸਟ ਬਾਈਟ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ, ਉਹ ਫਰਸਟ ਬਾਈਟ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੜਦਾ ਹੈ। ਬਟ ਆਈ ਡੋਨਟ ਨੋ ਹਾਊ ਚੜਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਵਾਸ ਸੋ ਸਕਿਨੀ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੀ, ਹੀ ਸ਼ੁਡ ਹੈਵ ਬੀਨ ਲਾਈਕ ਮੋਟੂ ਵਿਦ all the bites that we were sending him. And Guruji used to love it when Sangat used to make langar, or Sangat used to make things for him. Like I keep telling Kiran Sudha Auntie and Sudha Auntie ke, you know, cookbook banao. साथ वो जो चीज़ां गुरुजी ने पसंद सी, वो असे भी चाह ना खाए घर ਵਿੱਚ. Let's also enjoy whatever Guruji Sahib used to enjoy eating. So maybe one day. Auntie.
Then he went ahead and put me on a diet of moong dal and 2 rotis and yogurt for lunch every day. Thinking this to be a very mundane one compared to the non-vegetarian diet, asked if pickle could be added. He agreed. After a year, I told Guruji, I can't do this anymore. And he laughed and said, Chhat pare.
So, I have to give you a whole story behind this, okay? This is completely not my fault. This is completely Guruji's fault. Guruji the plan hai, Guruji the whatever hai. And I have to tell you, when I got married to Sati, I was a very quiet person. And Sati was the talkative person. And he was the person telling me about life and everything. And I was the person listening. And one day, I remember it was at Hot Millions in Chandigarh. It was the place to go at that time. And there was another lady, and Guruji said, Tusi, mere naal walk karo. Now there were fountains there, and we were walking. And before we could start walking, this lady said, I have things to ask Guruji, कि मैं ना पहले चले जावा. मैंने कहा तुसी चले जाओ, बाद में मैं गुरुजी नाल आगे पूछ लांगी जो भी पूछना है. And we were happy, just 2 of us with Guruji. That means we will get an opportunity to talk. And Guruji, of course, knew about her grand plan. Guruji ने चलना शुरू किया. उन्हां दी speed, any तेज, it was as fast as almost running. And असी पिछे लगी. वो आंटी तो 2-3 राउंड बाद बह गई. तो मैं पिछे लगी हुई कि गुरुजी मैंने गल करनी, गुरुजी ए होया, गुरुजी वो होया, गुरुजी ए होया, जो भी मन में चल रहा सी ना, सब कुछ दस रही सी अपने आप. तो suddenly Guruji turned around and I stopped in my tracks and said, तो इतना बोल दी तो मेरा सिर खा गई है. Okay, that was the first time. And I was shocked कि अभी मैं बोली नहीं हूँ, अभी मेरे को ऐसे बोला जा रहा है. तो एक और दफा we went to Panchkula and we got stuck in the traffic jam in the front of the Gurdwara and late ho gaya si. Now when you go to meet Guruji from out of town, you get 2 days or 3 days and you know Guruji's timing, so you know you can't miss the timing. And I was looking at my watch and saying, अब तो लंगर भी खत्म हो गया होगा, अब तो गुरुजी उठने वाले होंगे, गुरुजी प्लीज वेट फॉर मी, गुरुजी प्लीज वेट फॉर मी, आई जस्ट वांट टू मीट यू टुडे, आई डोंट वांट टुडे टू गो विदाउट मीटिंग यू। ठीक है, एनीवे वी वेंट, नहा धो के गुरुजी के पास गए, सारे लंगर लुंगर खत्म ते गुरुजी मथा टेकिया सी ते गुरुजी कहते मैं ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਰੁਕਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਐਂਡ ਸੈਟੀ ਸੈਡ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਗੁरुजी। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਈ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕੇ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਖਾ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਸਤੇ, ਇੰਨੀ ਬੋਲਦੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਸਿਰ ਖਾ ਗਈ। I said okay, मैं चुप रही। So coming 20 years ahead, there was Noor was in modern school and I was in the PTA and we had friends there. Now Riti Auntie's husband Mukul was a part of the PTA, and Riti Auntie was like his +1, is his +1. So Riti Auntie and I really hit off and we were busy chatting. And then Mukul comes around and said, "Tu itna bolti hai, tera husband tang nahi aata?" And I just stared at him. I mean, the third time in my life. पहले 2 गुरुजी ने बोले हैं, अब ये बोल रहा है। I got very upset and सुना के मैं वो चली गई। I didn't let it pass, but I came home and said, Sati, you know, years ago, and I just said, Sati, you know what? Mukul today said, तू इतना ज़्यादा बोलती है, तेरा husband तंग नहीं आता? कहते नहीं, I like you as you are. उसने बोल जाके, I like you as you are. बोलते चलते, I like you like this. I said, no, that is not the problem. The problem is, वो टाइम पहले गुरुजी ने बोला था, तो इन्ना बोल दी मेरा सिर खा गई है। ठीक है, वो मैनू नहीं पता सी कि मैनू ब्लेसिंग्स मिल रही नहीं बोलने वास्ते, ते आज मैं इन्ना बोल दी हाँ कि पूछो ना, कि उस टाइम इस करके मैं इन्ने सारे क्वेश्चंस गुरुजी को पूछ लेंदी सी, क्योंकि उन्होंने ही ब्लेस किया कि बोल दी रहे। So what happened really was, once I asked गुरुजी, अच्छा गुरुजी संत लोग क्या खाते हैं, जो तपस्वी वगैरह होते हैं ना, वो क्या खाते हैं? गुरुजी very smartly turns around and said, अच्छा इस तरह कर, आज तो मूंग दाल ते रोटी खा ले दोपहर ਨੂੰ। मैंने कहा हर रोज? कहने हाँ, हर रोज दोपहर ਨੂੰ मूंग दाल ते रोटी खानी। संगत वाला दिन मैं जाके पीछे बैठ गई और मैं सोच रही हूँ मूंग दाल और रोटी, आफ्टर माई नॉन वेजिटेरियन डाइट, मूंग दाल और रोटी, व्हाट एम आई गोइंग टू डू? ऐसे करती हूँ, गुरुजी से पूछती हूँ कि मैं इसके साथ अचार डालूं, एटलीस्ट टेस्ट तो आएगा, मूंग दाल और रोटी में क्या होएगा? सो आई वेंट अप टू गुरुजी एंड सेड, गुरुजी मैं अचार खा सकती हूँ? कहने हाँ खा ले। वो वापस चली गई, बैठ गई, फिर भी आई वाज मलिंग, मूंग दाल रोटी अचार, उसमें ग्रीन्स तो कुछ नहीं हुआ ना। तो मैं गुरुजी से पूछती हूँ कि मैं कचुम्बर भी खा सकती हूँ? तो मैं वापस गुरुजी के पास गई, वो कहते गुरुजी मैं कचुम्बर भी खा लूँ? हाँ हाँ खा ले। ठीक है। Oh, so in my life, we have fixed ke one day a week we will go to mom's house. And that one day is always lunch. Bachas used to come from school. I used to come from home. And that used to be a lunch. Oh, मेरी माँ फिर कल पे कि ए भी कोई खाना होता है, मैं तेरे वास्ते मूंग दाल दे रोटी ते अचार ते कुछ चुम्बर बना रही हैं हर दफा। I can't help it because this is a diet Guruji is given. Almost a year, and I said, I went up to Guruji and said, बस Guruji, I can't do this. कहे किसने क्या सी करने वास्ते, छड़ पर मतलब आप ही बोल के आप ही मुकर गए और आप ही की कल्याण किता, ये तो हाले तक मैं नहीं जानती। हाँ जी बच्चे जी।
Milk and water are very important for the body. He said that milk is a gift. Guruji loved the milk and water of Punjab. In fact, at multiple occasions, he has told us that the water and milk in Delhi are bad for health.
So Guruji used to say, दिल्ली दा पानी is so bad. ये दिल्ली दे जो पाइप्स हैं पानी दे, वो सूअर दे पाइप्स दे नाल मिक्स हो जाएंगे। उस टाइम ते we couldn't even think about that because we were having water from taps. अब ये bottled water, आरो शारो, ए कुछ भी नहीं. It was directly water from taps. So this is what Guruji had said that time. ਹੁਣ तो देखो वही हाल हो गया है।
When Guruji Maharaj initially came to Delhi and held Sangat at S Block in Greater Kailash, he used to be on a liquid fast for 4 days a week, Monday to Thursday. He had explained that he was doing this right now so that no member of his Sangat will ever need to fast.
So that time when we met Guruji, Guruji was on a liquid fast. Matlab he used to have Coke with ice, then Coke with a lot of ice, Coke and lemon, then lassi, then nimbu pani, orange juice, and the thing was, कहने में जल रहा body. So Guruji would ask, call for ice, a lot of ice, and it was it used to be like he used to get restless because there was so much heat within him at that time, because whatever part Guruji was doing was producing a lot of heat inside. And then when I asked Guruji ke tusi kyun fast kar rahe ho, 4 days, liquid fast, I think it's so bad for your health. And he said, I don't want my sangat to do fast. He says, if you तराजू में अगर डालो ना, अगर फास्ट और meditation and नाम जपना, then नाम जपना is much more weighing than fast. कहते fast with एक तो पहले तुसी सारा दिन सोचते हो कि खाना है, दूसरा तुसी गलत टाइम ते बंद कर दे हो. कहते a day starts at 4 o'clock, not at 12 o'clock. So you've already gone wrong with your fast. He says, उस तो चंगा तुसी नाम जपो सारा दिन. ठीक है, instead of thinking of food all day long, नाम जपो सारा दिन, then meditation करो, because as per value, it is much higher value than meditation and mala.
The only day that the Sangat used to fast on was Mahashivratri. That too, Guruji used to call Ramavtar on his cell and instruct him to tell everyone who was present in the mandir to take langar and break the fast.
So that was actually our, the Guruji started the whole Sangat on, क्या कहते हैं, the Shivpura. कि एक पल्ला पढ़ो, एक अंग पढ़ो, एक थोड़ा पढ़ो पर हर रोज पढ़ो. अगर आप पढ़ नहीं सकते किसी और से पढ़वाओ, that you must do Shiv Puran every day. So as a reverence to Shiv Puran, people, even me, I started doing a fast on Mahashivratri Day. But till the last day, last before Guruji decided to change his chola, it was Mahashivratri ka function. We were decorating the mandir. And when I fast, has always been like that, I get a migraine. So I go through the migraine, I go through the pain all day long and finish the fast at the end. But Guruji हमेशा वो fast ना, जैसे उस last time उन्होंने राम अवतार को फोन किया और बोला कि सबका फास्ट तोड़वाओ, किसी ने फास्ट नहीं करना, ठीक है, और सबको लंगर खिलाओ, किसी ने लंगर खाए बगैर नहीं जाना. मतलब that is how much Guruji did not want us to do a fast. I'm sure there will always be cases where Guruji has asked a specific person to do a fast, but everything in this book is for all Sangat. It is not specific Sangat. It is what Guruji used to teach all of us. It is not a specific teaching for anybody in particular. Auntie.
When we met Guruji initially, I asked him, why do you allow us to eat non-vegetarian? To which he asked me, if I told you to stop today, would you stop? And I replied, no, Guruji.
Auntie. So I used to wonder why when we used to go to weddings, Guruji used to जाओ खा के आओ, जाओ कि पी के आओ, मतलब खुल दी हुई थी सबको कि जाओ जो करना है करके आओ.
जैसे महाप्रसाद जान.
Yes, Guruji से महाप्रसाद खा के आओ. So drink नहीं लेते, drink लो. He was very human about things. People are, our minds
हमें
are
होता
very
था उनके पास बैठो ना, हमें होता था उनके पास बैठो जैसे जाओ महाप्रसाद खाओ.
हाँ. No, so our minds are very limited. Guruji is way beyond what we can understand. Guruji used to tell me, like there's somebody in our family who loves alcohol. Matter loves is an alcoholic at the moment. And Guruji said to me, why do you say like that? He said, no, this is the experience he has chosen in this lifetime. So let him get satisfied. Otherwise, he will have to come back another lifetime to get over this experience. And whoever is supporting him right now will have to support him in another lifetime. So that is why Guruji never used to stop us like this. पाबंदी करके नहीं करते थे कभी. वो कहते थे जो तृष्णा वो खत्म होगी वो पूरी करवाते थे ताकि तुम उस चीज के लिए वापस कभी ना मुड़ो. See, we only think of this lifetime. Our soul is much beyond that. Guruji knows how many times our soul has gone through certain experiences to really get it out of our system or achieve a winning position. And
He said, in Kali Yuga, it is a guru that has to prove himself first. When I prove myself to you, then you will have a reason to listen to me. So when I have proved myself to you and the time is right, then I will stop your non-vegetarian.
And so at that time when Guruji, we were sitting in Empire State, and by that time I understood that Guruji can read my mind. And when I asked Guruji this question, okay, how come you allow us to eat non-vegetarian? He said that, you know, if I give you certain instructions, okay, this is how you should live life, that is how you should live life, will you trust me? If I give you a sermon, मैंने कहा भाषण तो सारे देते हैं, कहते कुछ तू भाषण सुन भी लेगी, एक कान तो अंदर डालेगी, दूसरे कान तो निकाल देगी, जब तक मैं तेनू प्रूव ना करा दैट आई एम वर्थ इट, कि मैं जो बोल रही हूं मैं कर सकता हाँ, जब मैं वो उस पोजीशन पे आ जाऊंगा, तद तू मैनू सुनना शुरू करेगी, तद तू कहेगी हाँ ये जो कह रहे ने सच है, तद ही बंदा सुनता है गुरु नू। तो मैं भाषण देके की करना? नो, दैट वाज द क्वेश्चन। आई सेड हाउ कम यू डू नॉट गिव sermons? And Guruji said, no, I do not believe in giving sermons. If I prove myself to you, if I tell you even one small thing, then you will do it. Otherwise, like every sermon, you will put it in from one year and take it out from another year.
Go on a holiday to Bangkok and leave today itself. That was the hukam. Jaake honeymoon manao. At this time, we had been married for 20 years. Sati said that we cannot go there as there are no more empty pages in his passport. Guruji told him that there was one, and indeed, there was just one. The hukam came at 2:30 p.m. and we took the flight at 9 p.m. the same day.
So, direction is very important in life. And we can sometimes go in the wrong direction and feel ill because the direction is not right for us. So it's very important for us to suss out that which direction we are going, which is beyond our house, north, south, east, west, that कौन सा direction सानू सूट करता है, कौन सा direction सानू नहीं सूट करता है। जिस तरह तुसी कई लोग shift कर जाते हैं abroad, फिर पिटते हुए वापस आते हैं, या shift कर जाते हैं abroad और फिर सफल हो जाते हैं, ठीक है? Those are always things that are teaching you that direction is very important in life. So at that particular point, Guru Sahib Ji must have decided that, okay, these two have to get out of Delhi. They have to go right now. And we did not need क्या कहते हैं, a visa for Bangkok. It's visa on arrival. Okay? And I'm sure, because Sati is so thorough with all his work, that I'm sure that there must have been no pages on the passport. And I'm sure that this was Guru Sahib Ji's mayor, that he decided, okay, these two have to get out of the country. Auntie.
On the flight and for the next 2 days, every time I got a piece of non-vegetarian into my mouth, I would feel nausea and thought, damn, my holiday is ruined. Since I love eating non-veg food, all kinds of it. It took 2 days for me to figure out that Guru Sahib was behind all this.
So we got onto the flight, and I had chosen a non-vegetarian meal, which was chicken. And so I would bring it next to my mouth and go, ubak, like women do in pregnancy. It was literally like that. कि अब पता नहीं क्या हो गया, and I thought पेट खराब हो गया, क्या हो गया? And यही सोच रही थी कि हाय, अच्छी भली हॉलीडे के बाद जा रही हूँ, बच्चों से दूर, दोनों बच्चे घर सास सहुरे के पास छोड़ के जा रही हूँ. I will go and enjoy, और यहाँ मेरा पेट खराब हो गया, and I won't be able to enjoy.
So on the third day, I prayed fervently. Guruji Maharaj, if you want me to stop non-vegetarian, I will once I go back to Delhi, but please let me enjoy it here.
मैं मंगया ते भी की मंगया, है ना? ए मंगया नहीं, ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਗਈ ਨਾ ਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ हैं. ਮੰਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੁਣੇ ਖਾਣ ਦਿਓ, ਮੈਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਆ ਕੇ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਿਆਂਗੀ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ? ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਬਖਸ਼ੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖਾਣ ਦਿਓ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਰੋਕਿਓ. ਹਾਂਜੀ.
The next lunch was an extended overindulgent meal where I ate everything non-vegetarian on the menu, much to the delight of my husband and our friend Harpal Chawla, who is another foodie. I ate like as I knew there wouldn't be another tomorrow.
So that day, when I realized it was Guru Sahib Ji, when I did the ardas, I told Sati, okay, I know it's Guru Sahib Ji who's doing it. Let us go. We will have the next meal and I will really enjoy. And I had an awesome meal that day. You know, before that, it was Sati's birthday that day. So we had gone for a romantic dinner the day before that. And this person playing a violin and Sati is eating all what I would love to eat. And I was eating all ghas foos. It was horrible. So the next day when I ate myself, तसल्ली हुई कि हाँ, I can eat and ऐसे कोई problem नहीं है.
Once we landed in Delhi, no non-vegetarian was entertained by my system, and I broke out into rashes and an upset stomach. Greed is not good. My path has been paved by Guruji.
So, when I realized that I can't eat non-vegetarian, okay, I was very upset about it because I come from a very hardcore non-vegetarian family. My father is from Burma, okay, and his father was a doctor. So they were not people who ate vegetarian. Vegetarian was a like jaruri ghas foos on the side, literally. It's like that. They were hardcore non-vegetarians, and for me, that was a meal. That was what I needed to eat. And then I remembered that Guruji can say Mahaprasad and Sadara, which we can say Mahaprasad. So the next day I went, I took chicken, I cooked, so I made masala chicken for myself and Vaigru करके उसको महाप्रसाद बनाया, and then I could eat and my stomach didn't get bad, and that is the strength of prayer. पर मैनू वो तसल्ली हो गई कि anytime I really want to eat, I can make it into prasad and eat, and that I'm not stuck. And I'm sure Guruji knew about my game plan. I am very sure. You know, I have to tell you, Guruji do lovely things with langar, with food. And Sati, you want to tell us how Guruji made chai once?
So we had gone to Jalandhar. This is 1996. And you know, this is before the mobile phones and everything. Mobile phones came to India, and हमें हुक्म था. I think Bamby has told in the previous satsangs that we used to live at Rimple's brother's house, Rimple's parents' house. That was Guruji's instructions. कि ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਣ ਆਓਗੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਹੋਗੇ. So Atle, I would call up Atle and I would say कि हमने आना है. And then he would, whenever he would go to Jalandhar, he would take permission from Guruji, and he would call us back. Guruji is saying, come on such and such day. So we would come to Jalandhar. And one day we were in Jalandhar, and the langar was made by Raghbir uncle's family. And Bave, his son, was at the mandir, and Guruji told us that kal svere tusi 11 11:30 baje aa jana. So, and in front of me, he told Bave कि कल lunch वास्ते लंगर लाना है, इन्होंने आना है तो लंगर लेके आना. तो हम the girls were with us, both our daughters Aisha and Natasha, and Bamby, me and Atle, we went to Guruji Maharaj, meet Guruji Maharaj in Jalandhar the next day. And 1 बज गया, 2 बज गया, 2:30 बज गए, 3 बजे, नो लंगर, भूख लग रही थी. So Bamby ने क्या किया, लड़कियों को तो with the maid and the driver McDonald's में भेज दिया. हम बैठे रहे कि जब लंगर आएगा खाएंगे. Anyway, Guruji was in his room at this time, and he came out and he said, लंगर नहीं आया? तो Bave was there and he looked totally puzzled कि Guruji, मैनू तो तुसी क्या ही नहीं सी. You know, we were witness कि Guruji told him. So langar wasn't there. So Guruji told Sadama, whoever has been to Jalandhar, everybody knows Sadama looks after the mandir over there. So Guruji told Sadama कि कुछ है क्या खान वास्ते? Sadama looked and he couldn't find anything. And then Guruji told him, look at one of the cabinets. तो वहां से एक डब्बा लेके आया और उसके अंदर इतना बड़ा लड्डू, like a huge laddu. No, there were 3 laddus like that, 3 or 4 laddus like that.
4.
तो गुरुजी कहते हैं, चल साटी आज मैं तेरे वास्ते चाय बनावा. Now can you fathom like Guruji making chai for you? Like, you know, it's unimaginable in a way. So Guruji went to the kitchen put on the pot, पानी चढ़ाया खुद, पानी चढ़ाया. He was looking at me smiling, and then हाथ से ना ऐसे उठा के मुट्ठी भर उसके अंदर वो फेंकी, पत्ती फेंकी, 2 मुट्ठियां उसके अंदर चीनी फेंकी. Then he looks at me and smiles again. Then उसमें इलायची डाली, दूध डाला, उसको पकाया. And then he told Sadama, jug which paake le aayi. And Guruji sat down in the. If you've been to Jalandhar Mandir, when you enter, on left side is the darbar, and the right side is the kitchen wala section. Where the kitchen section is, right in front there, Guruji sat down on the floor, and Atle, me and Bamby just sat around him, in front of him, one on the left, one on the right, one opposite. Guruji ने हमारे आगे एक-एक लड्डू, हमारे हाथ में एक वो बड़ा सारा लड्डू दे दिया, चाय के ग्लास रख दिए, and himself he poured the 3 glasses. और मैंने सानू कहते हैं चाहो प्रसाद खाओ जी. अब इतनी मीठी चाय, इतने मीठे लड्डू, मतलब भूख लग रही है, ऐसे खा रहे हैं. After some time we were like, अच्छा चाय थोड़ी सी खत्म हुए, गुरुजी फिर डाल दें, मतलब वो खत्म भी ना होने दें, और गुरुजी वहां से उठ भी नहीं रहे थे कि हम छोड़ के कुछ और खाएं. It was so sweet, but it was amazing. I mean, for us it was such a huge thing that Guruji made chai for us, and so then to finish that story, that eventually he got up and left because somebody had come, so he went to sit on his gaddi, and हम फटाफट किचन में गए और सदामा को कहा नमक दे. नमक डाल के चाट रहे थे, and so this was our experience. But yes, I have heard from like Minnie used to do seva in Empire State, and he has told of times when after Sangat has gone, Guruji has called for mirchi and sat down and made himself mirchi ki chutney, and told who was the cook there? I mean, Chotu ke, I forget the name.
Okay, then.
उसको कहा परोठियां बना, और just फिर थोड़ी बहुत ही संगत उनके पास उन्हें रोकी होती थी, उनको परोठी, और Guruji himself used to put his chutney, mirchi wali chutney which he made, and used to tell them to have, which I've never had the opportunity, but it was a huge thing for us that he made that tea for us that day. That was amazing.
You just reminded me of एक दफा गुरुजी कहते हैं जनरल मोहन सिंह की वाइफ मामी जी को, कहते हैं इसने
मामी
पता
जी।
तेरे वास्ते राजमा बनाया सी. ते मैंने कहा अच्छा वाह मामी जी आपके लिए गुरुजी ने राजमा बनाए. कहते हैं हाँ जी, वो तो सीटियां बजती गई 1 घंटा हो गया. हमने कहा गुरुजी आपने राजमा चढ़ाए हैं, वो इतनी सीटियां बज चुकी हैं, वो तो गल गई होंगी. कहते नहीं हाले नहीं गले. फिर भी 1 hour 1.5 hour वो सीटियां बजती गई. तो हमने कहा गुरुजी हुन ते मलिदा हो गया होगा अंदर. तो कहते नहीं हुन गलन वाली है, फिक्र ना कर, मैं चढ़ाई है, मैं बनाई है ना, तो देखी चल. तो उसके बाद गुरुजी ने उनको बोला चलो बैठ जाओ, उनको परोसा दोनों को, मामा जी को एंड मामी जी को और जनरल मोहन सिंह को. एंड देन कहते ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਈਟ ਲਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋ ਗਏ. पता नहीं कितने घंटों वास्ते सो गए. ते उठे तो गुरुजी थे ही नहीं. तो हमारा लंगर जो गुरुजी ने बनाया वो वैसे का वैसा. सो देन वी सेड कि गुरुजी एक ही होया, मतलब सानू टाइम ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਚੱਲਿਆ. ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸੁਲਾ ਕੇ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ. तो गुरुजी कई चीजें करते थे ना. इट वाज रियली वंडरफुल. एक दफा हम लोग एम्पायर स्टेट में नहीं, वी वेंट टू बड़ा मंदिर, एंड सुधा आंटी ने आलू की परोंठियाँ बनवाई हुई थी, तो आलू की परोंठियाँ वगैरह ले आई और दही भूल गई टेबल पे. तो फिर गर्मियों का दिन था, भगाया, पता नहीं किसको भगाया, वहाँ से एम्पायर स्टेट से फिर दही भी आया. तो फिर हम लोग सारे गुरुजी के कमरे में बैठे हुए थे और गुरुजी ने सबको जैसे सेट्स में बैठाते हैं ना, 4-4-2 थाली. So we were 4 in this thali, and suppose your screen is Guruji Maharaj, एंड देयर वर 4 of us sitting around एंड एक थाली बीच में। एंड गुरुजी को कच्चा दही पसंद था, मतलब वो जैसे फ्रिज का जमा हुआ नहीं, अगर ये दही आप प्लेट में डालोगे तो बिखर जाएगा, पानी की तरह हो जाता है। एंड जिस थाली में उन्होंने डाला था उसमें कटोरियां नहीं थी, वो फ्लैट थाली थी। तो मतलब वो दही तो नीचे था और उसके ऊपर 8 आलू की रोटियां, ठीक है। तो गुरुजी बातें कर रहे थे, जो लेडी मेरे राइट पे थी वो थी कहीं अब्रॉड से आई हुई थी, तो गुरुजी उनके साथ बातें कर रहे थे और वो आंटी बड़ी तेज खा रही थी। एंड सडनली आई लुक डाउन एंड आई सेड, ओ अगर मैंने तेज नहीं खाया तो वो जो घिची पिची वाली रोटी है ना, जो गजी हुई है नीचे, वो मेरे को मिल जाएगी। तो मैंने फटाफट खाना शुरू किया, तेज खाती गई। सेकंड लास्ट रोटी आलू की उठा के एक रोटी मुंह में डाली, और वो जो आंटी मेरे साथ बैठी थी, इतनी अच्छी भगत है, शी पिक्स अप द घिची मिची रोटी, ऐसे खाने लगी। तो गुरुजी मेरे को देख रहे हैं और बात उनसे कर रहे हैं कि तेनों पता है मैं तेरे नाल कितना प्यार करदा, कि मेरे लिए कितनी स्पेशल है। मतलब जो प्यार मेरे को मिलना था वो आंटी को मिल रहा था, और आंखें मेरे को दिखाई जा रही थी कि व्हाट डू यू थिंक आई डोंट नो व्हाट यू डूइंग, ठीक है। और वो जो रोटी मेरे गले में थी ना, वो आम की गुठली की थी, जैसे वो फंस गई, वो ना नीचे जाए ना बाहर निकाली जाए। मतलब वो जो रोटी थी ना, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर ईटिंग इट, बट आई हैव टू टेल यू गुरुजी कितनी
We
चीजें
are human
ना।
at the end of the day.
हाँ जी।
We are human at the end of the day.
Yeah, human, but then in front of Guruji, I should have known better. Now, I was concentrating more on the routine than on Guruji, because Guruji was so busy talking to the other Sangat lady. In my stupid mind must have thought कि Guruji won't get to know. So मैं फटाफट अपना खा के, मतलब I don't want to go through everybody's झूठा and that दही वाला, so मैं फटाफट ले लूँ। गुरुजी ना एक्चुअली नज़ारे खुद ही दिखाते हैं। तो एक दफा वहां बैठे हुए थे, नहीं एक दफा हम लोग थे चंडीगढ़ में, आहूजा आंटी, नहीं चंडीगढ़ में आहूजा आंटी के हाउस में नहीं थे, आहूजा आंटी के यहाँ पंचकुला में, यस अभी वो। तो मेरे को पता चला वेरी फ्यू संगत, देयर मस्ट बी 5-6 संगत आफ्टरनून में, एंड अगेन वी वर इन ऑन वन ऑफ आवर ट्रिप्स, वी हैड कम टू मीट गुरुजी, अलाउड अस टू मीट हिम, एंड तो मेरे को पता चला कि कड़ी बन रही है, लंगर के लिए कड़ी आ रही है और चटनी आ रही है, तो साथ रोटियां आ रही हैं। एंड आई सेड रोटियां, सो आई टोल्ड आहूजा आंटीज डॉटर, मेरे को तो चावल अच्छे लगते हैं। तो लिटलू उस टाइम थी, तो लिटलू कहते हैं हम चावल बनाएं, कहा, हम चावल बनाते हैं। तो हमने उनकी मेड को बोला कि हमको ना चावल दे दो। उसने अपने चावल परमल थे वो निकाले, हमने चावल चढ़ा दिया। तो सडनली गुरुजी की आवाज आती है, लिटलू लिटलू इथे आ। तो गुरुजी के पास फटफट गई, कहते हैं चौल कौन बना रहा है, देख ऐसी खराब है। वो कहती है बैम्बी बना रही है ठीक है। तो कहते अच्छा, फिर चली गई। तो लिटलू आके मेरे को कहती है, वो गुरुजी पूछते चावल कौन बना रहा है। मैं कहा बोल देना था ना हम दोनों बना रहे हैं। कहते हाँ मैंने बोल दिया कि आप बना रहे हो। तो फिर मैंने सोचा ओहो कहीं गुरुजी ये ना सोचे कि मैंने ऑफर नहीं किया। तो मैंने कहा गुरुजी के पास गई, तो मैंने कहा गुरुजी मैं चावल बना रही हूँ, आप खाओगे। कहना नहीं सानू चावल नहीं पसंद, सानू तो सिर्फ रोटी पसंद। मैंने कहा ठीक है गुरुजी। मैंने सोचा मेरे को कहाँ अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी फिर से। मैंने कहा गुरुजी मैं स्पेशली बना रही हूँ, आप भी थोड़े खा लो। कहना ना 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 ना, मैं तो नहीं खाऊंगा, तो मैं सिर्फ रोटी खाऊंगा। कहा अच्छा गुरुजी। यू वॉन्ट बिलीव दैट परमल चावल टुक एन आवर टू कुक। परमल चावल कुक्स रियली फास्ट। तो बाय टाइम गुरुजी ने लंगर खा लिया, सैटी ने भी हमारे को डिच कर दिया, उसने भी गुरुजी के साथ लंगर खा लिया, लिटलू ने भी लंगर खा लिया, रिम्पल और रमन, ठीक है। हम तीनों ने डिसाइड किया हम तो चावल खाएंगे और कड़ी खाएंगे, ठीक है। जब सारी संगत ने खा लिया तब वो मोई चावल पके, सानू चावल पके, असी डोंगा लेके गए बेडरूम में। तो रिम्पल गई कड़ी का डोंगा, इन्ना बड़ा डोंगा लेके आ गई। तो रमन कहती हैं चटनी नहीं लाई, ओ गई ओ डोंगा चटनी का ले आई। ते सानू असी शुरू किया खाना, ते हस हस के आई कैन टेल यू असली अधूरे हो गए, हंस के। सैटी इन्ना डांटे, गुरुजी रेस्ट करें, तुम लोग चुप कर जाओ, तुम क्या हंसते जा रहे हो। मैंने कहा हमें नहीं पता। हंस के वो कड़ी चावल का जो मजा था वो चटनी के साथ, वो अभी तक कभी नहीं आया है। And Guruji joined us with that. Guruji joined Rimple and Raman with me. That is my family. That is how he joined us together. So गुरुजी के अपने तरीके से या गुरुजी के एक दफा ओ आई एम सॉरी I'm on the roll जलंधर विच ना गुरुजी महाराज बैठे हुए थे बड़े सीरियस हैं पाठ एंड सिर रगड़ रहे हैं पाठ करें उस टाइम ना वो स्कार्फ पहनते थे ऐसे नहीं इस तरफ स्कार्फ पहना हुआ था एंड उनके हाथ में ऐसे चल रहे थे अच्छा गुरु साहिब जी अपनी गद्दी पे बैठे हुए थे मैं गद्दी के साथ बैठी थी माई आई लेवल वॉज द सेम एज गुरुजी's हैंड एंड इस तरह कर रहे थे तो देखा एक छोटा सा लड्डू बन रहा है एंड सो नेक्स्ट टाइम आई गॉट टू सी द लड्डू वाज अ बिट बिगर जो भी पाठ कर रहे थे उसके साथ लड्डू बन रहा था ठीक है एंड सडनली गुरुजी लुक्स एट मी एंड कवर्स अप द लड्डू एंड आफ्टर सम टाइम उत्ते करके कहते सो एंड सो इथे आ थाड़ करके उन्होंने प्रसाद दिता ठीक है वो टाइम से बट आफ्टरवर्ड्स व्हेन गुरुजी केम टू एम्पायर स्टेट गुरुजी ने जब प्रसाद निकाले वो इथों निकाले इस तरह करके इस तरह किता ते प्रसाद दिता दैट प्रसाद हैज लिटिल हेयर ऑफ गुरुजी फ्रॉम हियर इस तरह करके इस तरह निकाल के देता सो गुरुजी आल्सो चेंज्ड एट डिफरेंट टाइम्स पहले it was not barfi exactly it was like I don't know how to explain. It was like a barfi, yet not a barfi.
Something like a mishri or a barfi, something in between.
Yes, it was a mishri barfi. Then it was laddu in between. Then it was patisa when Guruji came to Empire State. बड़ा सा patisa हो गया था ना. It was so there were different prasads at different times. In fact, जब कृष्णा बहन जी की wedding हुई है, तो गुरु साहिब जी ने सबको बोल दिया था कि कोई लंगर नहीं बनेगा. कि मैं उत्तों ले आऊंगा ठीक है सारा लंगर जितना भी है उत्तों ले आऊंगा एंड एवरीबडी वाज अंडर टेंशन क्योंकि एक गल जद हुई सी ना आई वाज विद द फैमिली एंड माता जी वाज आल्सो देयर कहने सानू बड़ी टेंशन हुई सी क्योंकि ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਪਕਵਾਇਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ ਬਰਤਨ ਰੱਖੋ ਉੱਤੇ ਢੱਕਣ ਲਗਾ ਦਿਓ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਾਦ ਮੰਗਾਵਾਂਗਾ एवरीबडी वाज स्ट्रेस्ड कि अगर ढक्कन खोला तो कुछ नहीं आया की होएगा ਤੇ जब टाइम आया गुरुजी ने जो भी कहना सी किता अरदास की and everybody had divine prasad
Wow.
everybody had divine prasad in Krishna Bhenji's wedding
Mesmerizing.
yes and that time Guruji was very young Guruji was very young at that time now by the time Guruji decided to Guruji's powers also went from I mean, Guruji always said, I'm a practical guru, that while Sai was here, he showed us that prayer and your devotion to yourself and your system and whatever Guruji's taught you can actually lead you to be more powerful because Guruji always said that the world is made for you and not you for the world. Matlab, you should think about it. Your soul should be so pure and so magnificent and so powerful that you should think and the world should conjure it for you. And that's how Guruji's world is and that's how he wants each of us to be. So today I'm going to go off topic a bit because last few times there have been questions and people and Sangat have said and otherwise also Sangat have been saying ke asiu the kyun nahi si te sada ki te they feel sometimes left out. So I'm going to cite to you 3 different examples. Past, just present past, and right like now, present kind of a thing. So Guru Sahib Ji, so Sati and we used to take care of photography in the mandir. And there was one time when we got huge photographs of Guruji framed because we thought Guruji looked gorgeous in that and took them to Guruji and Guruji took one look at them and said, "Eh tu le ja." Okay, sadi ego we fished or naal sade jo bhi devotion si o we fished. Everything went first. And Guruji turns around and say, "Mera photographer aayega." ठीक है मेरा फोटोग्राफर आएगा फिर देखी चल किस तरह ਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ and we kept waiting for my photographer to come and show he did. Raghu Rai uncle,
Right.
a renowned Indian photographer, and he's in fact received the Padma Shri. Yes, and it is Padma Shri is the highest civil award, and he's had a lifetime achievement award. I mean, he has won so many awards. I mean, I'm to showing off na mere Guruji the photographer kaun si, and his kids call me Masi, so I'm showing off more कि Guruji जो जिसनु लाइन है ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ ਬੜਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਬੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਅੱਜਕੱਲ ਵੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੈਲੰਡਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੱਥੋਂ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਫੋਟੋਗ੍ਰਾਫੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਸਟਾਈਲਿੰਗ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹ ਹੈ so that time I did not know but Guru Sahib ji knew that his photographer is coming. Then after Guru Sahib ji left his chola, I had gone to my friend's house, which was just across the road in Friends Colony, and she's a Krishnite, Ashima, and she had this lovely singer there, and I was most mesmerized by the singer. I was, you know, ਸਾਡੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਬਾਕੀ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਚੁੱਪ ਕਰ ਜਾਓ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਨ ਦਿਓ so he was so good so that I said ਕਿ ਅੱਛਾ ਮੇਰਾ Thursday satsang ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ first Thursday of the month ਤੇ ਆਪ ਆਣਾ and that day he had a flight for Bombay. He said if the flight is not late I'll be there. If the flight is on time, I won't be. If the flight is late, I won't be there. And if the flight is on time, I'll be there. And I said, fine. If Guruji wants you to come, then you'll be there. Otherwise, not. And he said, what kind of bhajans do you want? I said, whatever you want to sing, it's fine. Just whatever your heart takes you to, sing those. And then, but I was ready. If the singer doesn't come, I'm going to have a recording. But agge Guruji di marzi. He came, he was very ill. He was saying, I do not know if I'll be able to sing. And I said, do one thing, wait. Have this chai prasad. And us time kirtan kuch lagya si. When the kirtan ends, you see. And sure enough, he sang. His name is Siddharth Mohan. And the second time, I think, when he came, the night before, Guruji came in my dream and said, ਉਹ ਜੋ ਗਾਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉਸਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਜੋੜੇ ਪਕੜਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੇਰੇ ਦਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਛੁਰੀ ਮਾਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਉਸਨੂੰ ਨਏ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਤੋਹਫਾ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਕੌਣ ਜੋੜੇ ਦੇਣਾ ਮੰਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮਿਲਣਗੇ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ ਚਲੋ so the next day when he came after he finished I gave him Guru Sahib Ji's jode and he said this is for me and I said yeah it's for you and I gave him a photo also. Deepika Sukuja auntie was with me and I think she could make out that I was in no mood to give him anything but it was hukum is karke usnu de ditta aur usde baad usdi life hi badal gayi Guruji ne usnu pata nahi kithon chak ditta usdi awaaz vich inni mithas dal ditti ki banda usta sunda hai ठीक है that is latest आजकल. Now I'm going to talk about last week. This friend of mine, Gita, her sister had to have a huge surgery. And उसनु मिली मिश्री गुरुजी दे हाथ वाली मिश्री मतलब गुरुजी ने हाथ छुई हुई मिश्री जो होती है ना गुरुजी ने दी हुई मिश्री वो मिली ओ पता नहीं उसनु किस तरह मिली उसने जाके अपनी भैन ਨੂੰ ਖਿਲਾਇਆ ਭੈਨ ਨੂੰ ਖਿਲਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹ ਗਏ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਤੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ this huge surgery that you had to go through you don't need to go through and you need to just get injections done and you will be all right. So Guru Sahib Ji has a plan for everybody. It is different that we see him or we don't see him and that's why we feel left out but no everybody is his child and everybody is loved and everybody is taken over but please remember जिस तरह गुरुजी कहते सी कि क्या कहते नॉट लव मैरिज कहते सी soulmate I'm married to my soulmate. Everybody कहते सी I'm married to my soulmate. I used to say I'm married to my soulmate, and Guruji said he is not your soulmate, I'm your soulmate. Guruji used to say, and I used to look at him. I said, no Guruji, I'm married to him, so he's my soulmate. कहता है, so Guruji says, अच्छा, does he know you like I know you? I said, no. Do we come like this together? I said, no, not Sati and me. That of course is you, because you are a guru, so only you can know everything about me. कहते फिर तेरा soulmate कौन होया? ਉਹ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਹੋਇਆ? गुरुजी कहते ने soulmate उस तरह ਦਾ कि देखो जिन्नी खुली जाली उन्ना soulmate, जिन्ना tight जाली उन्ना मैं soulmate. So when I, as Bamby Singh, I'm talking about my soulmate, it is my soulmate. That is my limited knowledge. Each one of you, your soulmate is somebody else, somebody different. And you all need to go and figure out from within you who this soulmate is. Not a person, but that side of Guruji, which completes you. Namaste ji.
Auntie. Yes. So I will only say once again, many, many thanks. You know, today's topic, food, I am going back to it. You, after the chapter was over, you did answer a few questions which a lot of Sangat often think about. And sometimes they do ask, sometimes they just wonder, maybe we are not close enough to Guruji, or maybe our time isn't, we are not ready yet for that, those kind of blessings. But these are the questions which are there in the mind of the Sangat very often, and you answered them, you know, with reference to past and future. And what I little remember about what a remark which Guruji made जब चोले में थे, and he said, मेरी असली संगत ते हाले आन वाली है. And you know, so it just Guruji was you know, always very, very limited words, but they had deeper meanings and they would unravel over the years.
True.
So this is one thing which he said कि मेरी असली संगत ते हाले आन वाली है. And once in Jalandhar, he said, मैं जब दिल्ली जावांगा ना, मैं तारा बन जाना है. Now, I did not understand what he's saying, and he never allowed you to think too much. Any remark, that's my personal experience,
No, true,
anything that he said, you wondered while you were sitting in front of him, Guruji kya keh rahe hain? But that was it. He wouldn't let you think beyond. And we all know what happened after 2007. And Guruji said, मैं दिल्ली जावांगा, मैं फिर जाके तारा बन जाना है. And about food, you know, I may take a little time, and for that my apologies, Suresh uncle, but I think it's a little relevant, especially keeping in mind certain things which Betty Noor spoke. Firstly, it's about food. You know, जब गुरुजी के साथ हम मिलते थे, बैठते थे, I was a non-vegetarian, और like Bamby auntie said, गुरुजी ने कभी किसी को नहीं कहा. Of course, a few specific people, it was probably something good for them or not good. Special instructions were there for some people. But by and large, kabhi, in my own personal experience, he has never asked me to, you know, fast, which I, till now in my life, I have never fasted. ना ही उन्होंने कभी कहा कि ये खाना है, ये नहीं खाना, ये पाठ करना है, वो नहीं करना. और he never asked me to do the Shiv Puran also, which over time one realized that, and these are some of the things which probably are meant for all the Sangat. And so I take a lot of pride that he also initiated me, not himself, but to Shiv Puran. But coming back to food, so I was a non-vegetarian then, but I decided after Mahasamadhi that I wanted to You know, on Thursdays, which is Guruvar, I decided to not eat non-vegetarian food on Thursdays, just on my own. And it happened so that I landed in a situation where there was a I've talked about this very often in satsangs. There was a celebration in the office, and I was also one of the few who had to cut the cake first and have a slice of it. And then back then there was not a concept of vegetarian cake by and large. So मेरे को 2-3 दिन पहले ही kind of anxiety होने लगी कि गुरुजी, how am I going to have that cake? And we never used to talk about Guruji's presence in our lives to anybody. At least I had not spoken to any of my Guruji Swarup was there in my locker with some, but never spoken about anything. But I was wondering, how am I going to have this cake? And I was expected to have. So I'm trying to make it very brief. Now, Guruji knows when his Sangat is unnecessarily worrying, and he, came to take us all away from rituals. So, just a day before that, Guruji ne bade sundar darshan diye, dream darshan diye. And what do I see? Ki this is my Gurdaspur house. That is where I first met Guruji. So, this is my Gurdaspur house, and there is a knock on the door. और मैं as I went towards the main door, मैंने देखा बाहर गुरुजी खड़े हैं. I'm narrating this dream darshan. So गुरुजी मैंने जाली दे बाहर खड़े हैं and मैंने कहंदे he just looks at me and I just say गुरुजी तुसी कहंदे हाँ हुन मैं 2 दिन तेरे कोल रवांगा. So I open the door and I say आ जाओ गुरुजी. So Guruji comes in and the next vision I have is that I am working in my kitchen cooking और मुझे ऐसे लगा कि मेरे पीछे कोई खड़ा है. So I just turned around and I saw that in the arch of the door Guruji खड़े हैं. And ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ 2 ਅੰਡਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਆਮਲੇਟ ਬਣਾ ਦੇ. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਮਲੇਟ ਖਾਓਗੇ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਖਾਵਾਂਗਾ. And ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ. And that's all, my dream ends and I get up. And when Guruji is trying to give you a message, there's the crystal clear thought that comes to you. And he's telling me, किन सोचां च पई होई है. Go ahead and have that cake. So it's not about omelets. It's not about Guruji eating omelets or eating eggs or any kind of non-vegetarian. It's about giving a message.
True.
That do not confine yourselves to these self-created limitations. तो ये Guruji के दरबार में these things have no meaning. If one is fasting for him, or it has no meaning. That's my belief. Your love for him, your devotion, your prayers, and the seva you do for him or his sangat, which is for him means his sangat. What can we give him? I think that is more meaningful.
True.
Now I'll come. Let's go a few years. Now this was after Mahasamadhi, and I'm now coming to 2019, 14th of August specifically. I've never been too much of a non-veg person in any case. 2014, I get that is also a very long satsang, but I will say I get a bulava to go to Guruji's public school. They were celebrating Independence Day function on the 14th. And I get a message from Isha कि बड़े मंदिर से मैसेज आया है कि जीके के सेवादार वहां आए. So when I read that message, I called her and I said I would love to go, but मैं कभी गई नहीं, तो कोई मेरे साथ चले जा रहे हैं जो मैं उनके साथ जाऊंगी. She said, Auntie, सुबह से मैसेज डाला हुआ है. You are the first one who has called or said. So I don't think anybody else is going. So the thought came to me that if nobody else is going, I'm definitely going. I was in the gym then and I just wound up everything and I came home. Something was not right with my car, so I quickly मैंने taxi बुलाई और मैं गई. And while I'm going, I'm saying, Guruji, I don't understand, but something is happening. I don't know why. आज आपने वहां बुलाया है. So I went there and I was already a little late. Function चल रहा था. I really enjoyed that and marveled at the kind of the children, what all they are imbibing. And उसके बाद लंगर प्रसाद मिला. लंगर लेके फिर मैं I again ordered the cab to come back. And as I ordered the cab, तो उसके बाद immediately वो आ गया. Driver Shiv on his way. And a very amusing thought came to me. I said, मैं क्या गुरुजी हुन तुसी आज आप ही आ रहे हो लैन मैनू? And so since it said approaching, so I went out और मैं बाहर सड़क पे खड़ी होगी कि कैब आ रही है. So that white cab came, and you will believe me when I say it was swanky. It looked like showroom se aayi hai. It was not some kind of a luxury vehicle. It was what I had ordered and what I can afford. But it was बिल्कुल new, brand new car. और जैसे मैं I opened the door and I stepped in, it was so clean. Generally, they are not like that. At least the ones I used to order are not like that. And there is some kind of energy inside, which it's as if I'm getting into his aura, his darbar. And I sit there and I look at, I just get a glimpse of the driver. He's wearing white kurta pajama and specs, looks like Guruji. And what Guruji would have looked maybe, from 2007 to now 19, slightly older, chashma lag gaya. I mean, I'm getting the feeling that there is something here, but I couldn't open my mouth. और मैं जाके पीछे बैठ गई. As I sat into the car, the first thing he tells me is, Nari Shakti Sabto Prabal. Then he repeated himself, Nari Shakti Sabto Prabal. And I sat and he started talking about Adi Purush, Adi Stri, and the various relationships between, the deities. Something which I was a little complicated. And I had by then also started reading the Shiv Puran, and he's telling me a lot of things about Shiv Puran, and I'm wondering कि ये तो उसमें नहीं है. But he didn't get me. I wasn't able to open my mouth. Constantly, non-stop, he's talking. And one of the things he said was, he told me a lot of things that day. One of the things he said, the purest relationship is of a mother and a son.
Wow.
All other relationships are prone to what would you say? You get a this temptation. All other relationships are prone to temptations, and even saints have succumbed to this temptation. Sirf Mahashiv is above all that. And he's telling me, in your life, always aim to be above these things. So these are few things, but what I'm coming to is what then he told me. He says, मांस नहीं खाना चाहिए. अच्छा, before that, when he's telling me all this, I'm telling him कि आप कहाँ से हैं? So he says, मैं गंगा तट से हूँ. And then I said, तो आप कहाँ रहते हैं? He says, ये सारा मेरा इलाका है. And then he looks into the rear view mirror, looks at me, puts his glass down, and the thought that comes to me, की गल है, पहचान नहीं रही मैनू. Words are being uttered. And that is what, and I'm trying to say so much, but मेरे मुंह से गुरुजी word ही नहीं निकल रहा. Then what I'm actually coming to you is related to food, and I'm the same person which was there before Mahasamadhi, and then after Mahasamadhi, when he's told me go ahead and have that cake and whatever, and then today he's telling me मांस नहीं खाना चाहिए. So and I told him, sorry, I didn't tell him. And then he says कि ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ किस तरह लगेगा जे ਤੁਹਾਡਾ कोई गला दाबे. Half Hindi, half Punjabi he's talking. So inside, I'm not able to say, but मेरे अंदर जो I'm saying कि गुरुजी आपको तो पता है ना, I only have chicken soup. That is for strength. The minute that thought, which is verbal inside, what does he say? He says, सब तो बलवान कौन होता है? हाथी होता है ना? की खांदा है? I'm just stunned. And so This was one of the thoughts which he gave me. And then, he says, so from within, what the thought he's giving me, kyun hatya mol lendi hai? So it is the timing. And what you said, first he makes you ready to receive those blessings. All these years, it was okay for me. But probably now, these are all my feelings, that probably now it was interfering in my karma. And he came personally to guide me. And of course, the satsang is rather long because for an hour non-stop he was talking. And when I reached home, I still couldn't say Guruji, and I said, भैया आज आपने इतनी अच्छी बातें बताई है, मैं आपको नहीं जाने दूंगी, आओ पर हम चाय पियेंगे. कहते मैं फिर आऊंगा. And that evening I went to Isha's house. There was a satsang. And before I said, I must share with you something. She said, मुझे कहने दो. गुरुजी आए, मुझे कह के गए. वेख्या फिर टीचर ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜਤਾ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਮੰਦਿਰ. School. Sorry, teacher ਨੂੰ ਭੇਜਤਾ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ school. Because I am a teacher. So what you said is that food is veg, non-veg is of no consequence, but it is for each individual, and Maharaj knows what is right for whom at what stage of life. So I kept wondering till that time, when I reached home, till I went in the evening, I was not sure whether it was my imagination or what it was. And I kept saying, Guruji, what was that? I was like a zombie for some time. And I said, Guruji, what was that? Do you really want me to not to give up? Aap mujhe batao. I didn't get any message. But I had decided that this whole experience was definitely not something that happens.
Divine
It
experience.
was divine. It was divine. And then, of course, the confirmation came in the evening when Isha said, before I could say anything. So that is, I just, also I feel, Guruji said, there are no coincidences.
Yes.
आज उन्होंने मुझे, he's given me this blessed seva to just host this event and to introduce all of you, but it is for a reason. The topic today relates to some of my very, very precious satsangs, my precious experiences. So thank you very much, Maharaj, for including me today. And thank you so much, Suresh Uncle, for giving me this seva.
Thanks a lot, Tanvi Auntie. You have stole the session today. Bamby Auntie जी आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. सती अंकल, नूर बिटिया बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. और तनुज कपूर आंटी, थैंक्स अ लॉट. मैं साथ संगत जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि आने वाले सेशंस, अभी 5 सेशंस और आने हैं, तो